Welcome to the Men Ain't Shit podcast. 3 black men discussing current topics and debunking myths from a male's perspective. Now your host, Robert George, Corwin Davis, and Christopher Lewis.
Fellas, good to see y'all ugly motherfuckers today.
Bro, why we gotta be ugly though, man?
Bro, y'all niggas always ugly, bro.
It's just because we look better than you, bro.
On the cool, man, really what it is, bro, I've been stuck in the house with this corona shit, bro. So I got cabin fever, so I'm just excited, nigga, to be out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think today we got on the docket, we talking about prenups.
Ooh.
Hey, ooh.
I don't know if they ready for that one.
They not ready.
Shit, they better be ready, shit. I'm ready to talk about this shit.
Say, man.
Yeah, I'm ready to learn something today.
Well, I mean,
Learned something today.
so I mean, you can't really get a prenup now, bro.
Yeah, I'm just ready to learn, you know.
You can't get a postnup though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Really?
you can't get a postnup, bro.
Oh, shit, attorney just showed up. Shit, let us know
Hold on,
that.
let me go ahead.
About to go put your suit on.
Weird flex,
Yes,
but okay. All
Attorney
right.
Corwin Davis at your service.
So-
that's at C Davis Law, the Davis Law Group, www.davislawgrp.com.
All right, man. Appreciate the plug.
my
Y'all holler at my boy.
Yes, sir.
So we talking about prenups.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know what a prenup is, legally standing, Corbin, break that down for us. What's a prenup?
So basically, a prenup is a contract made between two parties before they get married as to how assets will be distributed if they get divorced.
Okay, so like a backup plan.
It's basically a backup plan, you know. So it's like, you know, that's property that they gain during their marriage while they're married. Depending on what state you're in Texas, generally speaking, Texas is a community property state, which means that anything you get after you're married would be subject to a community division, meaning man and wife or wife and wife, whatever it is, right? That would be subject to division. But the idea of a prenuptial agreement is to set those things out. So, for instance, a lot of rich people get them. You hear about them on you know, like TMZ and stuff like that. But the idea is that, you know, if this ends, this is how we're going to divide our assets. This is how we're going to divide our property, money. And when I say our, I use that loosely because sometimes the other person ain't earn no damn money. But, you know, they still might be trying to get a piece of the action.
But I mean, if you're around while the shit happened, technically,
In theory, you know what I'm
the
saying?
law says.
The law. But, you know, we all know that just because you bring somebody on, I mean, they contributing to the success of the relationship. and
Which
to
is
the-
fucked up.
It is fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
But okay.
So what's the postnup?
Postnup is basically once you're married, right? You can say, all right, for instance, let's say I'm married, which I'm not. I'm single. But, you know, let's say I'm married, right? And,
Shameless plug ass.
I know, shameless plug. I'm married, and shit, I'm about to come into some money. Or I'm about to, you know, come into this property, right? And outside of a gift or something like that, it becomes community property. Like if my parents leave me something, that's a gift. That comes straight to me.
Yeah.
But if it's something else, like we might decide between my wife and I, we might say, hey, you know what? That property is going to be your separate property or something like that. So you can agree. Same type of way a prenup happens, you can do the same thing for a postnup, meaning after you've married. So prenuptial is after before the nuptials, before the I do's, and then postnuptials after the I do.
Okay. All right, cool. So now that we've outlined what a prenup is, how do y'all feel about prenups, bro?
So I think the reason we're talking about this because Waka Flocka came on, you know, kind of went viral this week when he was going hard about, you know, the fact that he didn't have a prenup with his wife. I mean, who he's known for like a decade or whatever, but you know, he probably has a significant amount of money. You know, Waka Flocka Flame. You know, one hood ass nigga.
You got that? You got that beautiful bean footage, bro?
Bean footage? I mean, I got that Instagram footage.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Can we cue that up?
Go ahead and play that for us.
Let's see. Let's see. Can cue that up. All right, here we go.
A lot of celebrity couples with money don't have prenups. Like, well, Kobe and Vanessa didn't have a prenup, and I know.
They shouldn't have.
But you should.
Why should you?
A woman should put a prenup on a man if she got more money.
You know what that is. You know what that is, right? For me, right? Love don't stand on the same pedestal as money. And money could never stand on the same pedestal as love. If you love a person, it shouldn't be money. It shouldn't be sick. It shouldn't be fat. It shouldn't be no color, no shape, nothing. Now, for me, if I marry you and I'm this rich guy, you rich too, but I'm supposed to be the man to make your spirit rich. That's what's wrong with couples. People look at the money and don't pay attention to the spirit. See, that's a big difference. Because I can make my wife's spirit so rich to the point she'd be richer than me financially.
Okay.
So
You better.
All the sisters loving that. I bet they
are,
clapping, supping their feet.
That's real though. He said, "I'll make your spirit rich."
You know what, bro? That's
dope, though.
He dropped some shit that a lot of people won't ever understand.
You're right.
And I think one of the main things that he said, and kind of like making your spirit rich is being able to pour into that person enough to where, like, look, I'm gonna go out and get it on my own. You know what I'm saying? Like, taking that encouragement to go do whatever it is and follow their dreams and do whatever they need to do. So,
I'm still gonna need you to sign that paperwork.
That's because you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? But
And I'm speaking to someone who is married that does not have, any type of prenup because, I got me a great woman at home, but at the same time, I wasn't wealthy or rich to that level. I mean, I believe in prenups because, you just never know in this day and time, where a relationship or a marriage will go. And, when it comes to a lot of money corrupts or jades people's decision-making or feelings, so you never know.
so, if you were, let's say you had 10 mil liquid in the bank, would you have made your current wife sign a prenup?
Yep.
Would she have signed it?
Well, she might not. I don't know. I don't know.
Has
I
y'all
can't
ever
answer
had
that
that conversation?
No, because I never
you were
thought.
broke.
Yeah, I ain't broke, but I'm doing well.
first of all, Corey, you're not finna do our dog like that, bro.
I'm
He
broke.
ain't broke, bro.
Hey, look, when I say broke, I'm like, yo, we ain't out here. Ain't none of us got a meal in the
I
bank.
ain't got
So, hey, in that case, we all broke.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's what I'm
okay,
saying, you know what I'm
okay.
saying?
I ain't got no EPT code around here. Now,
You know what I mean?
So,
Hey, we making it day by day, though. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
especially with this Corona nigga. I'm like,
Hey,
I don't
Chris,
know
are your
what's about to
kids
happen,
fan, bro?
yeah, hey man, I got stocks, I got ETFs. I got a few precious metals.
That boy got precious metals. Though. He got hold on.
Hey,
What
man,
you got?
we-
Copper? You got? They out here stuck with that copper. hey,
that was a good one.
that boy out there mining copper.
That was a good
Let me find out you out here stealing condensers and shit.
Hey, we see that boy on the top of the church.
Looking like Ricky Smiley out for Friday After Next out here.
You know what I'm saying?
What Santa Claus outfit?
Hold on, the next Sunday they're gonna be at church trying to collect funds so they can fix the air conditioning.
I got that copper dog.
Hey, for the low. But seriously though, I think prenups are a serious issue, man. I mean, it's like I think it's one of those things that our community doesn't deal with a lot because economically speaking, we're kind of behind a little bit. But it's a pretty common thing when people have a little bit of money.
I'm gonna say this. So, like, I'm not gonna knock anybody that wants or that would want to have a prenup. I'm just not 100% sure that I agree with it. I think that, and this is also coming from someone who's been divorced, but I feel like the idea of what marriage is supposed to be is not like. I don't think it should have backup plans, and I kind of consider prenup to be somewhat of a backup plan.
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, it could be like going in blind, but my idea is that like we doing this for the long haul, for forever. So I don't really see any reason to have a prenup. Now, my only consideration is that going into a situation like with a lot of bread already, I think that one of the challenging things in relationships, period, whether you broke or not, is knowing if somebody's sending their best representative. Sure. In other words, like they putting on the bullshit to get with you just because they see what they can benefit from. Like, and I think that like you can kind of handle that two ways. You know what I'm saying? You cannot be so disclosing in terms of like what you have to protect yourself, and that may give you a buffer or a zone to really get to know that person. But then again, it's just tough and complicated all the way around because you can only shield your lifestyle so much. Right. Yeah. And if you got a whole bunch of money in the bank, 9 times out of 10, you still probably got a nice crib, or you may be driving a Prius, but I doubt that you lived in a 1-bedroom apartment and you got like millions in the bank.
Well, first of all, Warren Buffett drives a Prius, and he lives in the same house he had in the 80s.
AKA driving a Prius. But what that house look like though?
Well, he got a regular ass house.
Yeah, it's regular.
He got a regular ass
Like
house.
what kind of regular we talking about?
Like
we talking
Oak
about
Cliff
our
house,
regular?
bro. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not your regular. It's
Hold
your
on.
house-
First of all, my
your
G.
house probably faster than Warren
Hey, I'm
Buffett's,
about to
bro.
pull this nigga mic. Hold on.
boy.
No,
Your house faster than Warren Buffett's, bro.
bro, I'm about to turn your mic off.
Warren Buffett don't have a Samsung refrigerator that be playing music.
You know
and
what?
shit.
Let me turn this nigga mic off. Chris, what you got to say, bro?
Get your boy. But Warren Buffett house is straight. Yeah, it's very like decent, normal.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
what I mean,
very
it doesn't
regular.
have like a whole bunch of craziness in it. But yeah, the reason why because in today's society, I mean, I don't think you have two relationships that kind of differ or differentiate between love and without considering money. Like we live in a very capitalistic society.
Ain't that has always been that way though?
No, I just think back in the day it was a little different.
Back in the day, I feel like it was worse. I mean, I feel like a lot of women they were marrying because of that. It wasn't a you can do your own thing. It's like, hey, find a man that has money. Or you get
Don't
married
get me
off and
wrong.
shit.
I agree to a certain extent, but I think that they were marrying for security and
That's
not
money.
ballers.
That's money, though.
No, it's a difference because security, like, just
Well,
take
shit.
care of the bills. Ballers, nigga, like,
Right.
I guess
living
I'm secure.
lavish.
I'm secure.
I mean, you
I ain't
didn't
got no
have
lavish lifestyle.
You didn't have
hell.
Instagram models on Fashion Nova and tummy tees and all that. I mean, back then, you know,
Tommy T's, bro.
you know what tummy tee.
No, I don't. Seriously.
You know, it's like these chicks on Instagram saying
The flattening
make your
tummy
your
tee.
Oh, Tommy T.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was like a website. I was like, yo, what's this? I was like, yo, I know about Fashion Nova. I'm like, yo, what's this Tommy T though?
No, but I'm saying like back in the day, you know, society kind of restricted, you know, African American people in such a way that, you know, you didn't have to worry about like a financial piece because you're struggling, everybody's struggling. But now, you know, we're doing a lot better and we don't necessarily know how to, you know, maintain and deal with money issues. So that can easily get, you know, mixed into the pot of your marriage. You know what I mean? I mean,
That's true.
people get divorced mainly because of finances. You know what I mean? That's like one of the number one reasons why people get a divorce. So you have to secure that, you know,
And
in
no
the beginning
sex.
if you got wealth. That's all I'm saying. There you go. Hey, you know,
I'm just saying that's the truth. No sex.
if you got the money, then you know, and she's really there for you. Let me backtrack. She's really there for you. It doesn't matter about a prenup because you're gonna live off that, and if it's meant to last, you're gonna get yours at the end. Anyway,
So I feel like this is kind of we should turn this episode a little bit.
Okay.
Because I think that we've kind of gotten the stance like, Chris, you feel like in certain situations you should definitely have a prenup. I don't feel like you should. Corwin, I don't think you feel like. What's your stance, Corwin?
I'm not a fan of prenups.
Okay.
Unless if I'm Bill Gates rich, that might be a little different.
And that's my thing too. I think that I've never been in a position where I had a shitload of money
Yeah.
to make that decision. I think that if I did, I would hope, and this is how I would handle that. I would hope that in that scenario, I would live a lifestyle that didn't speak volume to how much money I had.
but I think depending on your status or stature in life, I think you should have one. Like if I'm an NBA player, NFL player, like I got all these people around me trying to like get at me primarily because of what my finances looking like. I think you have to protect yourself.
I think if you're that visible of a person, I think that you should protect yourself.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a Joe Schmo who got millions of dollars in the bank and don't nobody know that motherfucker paid.
Yeah.
I think you still should get the prenup.
So there's this movie I watched on Netflix last year, I think.
Fuck your movie on Netflix.
Bro,
nigga.
Netflix
My bad.
hard.
Okay, my bad. Go ahead.
I think it's called it was basically about this dude as a prince, and old girl fell in love with him, didn't know he was a prince and shit after some random ass country in Europe.
Yeah.
I'm about to say coming to America, but you said
Yeah,
Europe.
same
Oh,
type of
God,
shit.
man.
Actually,
Yeah.
I'm saying that, but yeah, let's go back. The original Coming to America. You know what I'm saying? Regular Joe Smo. Like in a situation like that, that's where like, yo, you need to sign a prenup. Or do you? Because I showed you the real me without the money. You know what I'm saying? In a situation
Yes.
like that, I'm like, cool. Like he said, yo, you can have my whole kingdom. And that's how I feel. Like you
But
can have my whole kingdom.
she was vetted, so that's different, right? Like he portrayed himself to be so poor.
Yeah.
But that's
And
kind
she-
of
but
my
That's
point.
what, that's what I would do.
Still
I
fuck
feel
with him, right?
If I had that
But
money,
that's
I would
kind
do
of my
that.
point, though. If
Yeah.
you're not enough of a public figure where you can live a lifestyle in a way that don't nobody know,
Yeah.
I feel like that's the best way.
I feel like if that were me, like, you know what I'm saying, if I'm balling out of control, I'm out here dating, I'm gonna have me an apartment and I'm gonna have my fucking mansion, right? I probably won't have a mansion.
I don't know about that shit.
My Mac mansion.
You could just have a modest ass crib. You ain't
Right.
gotta have like.
That's what I'm saying, my
Now
Mac-
you just being frivolous.
my Mac mansion, okay? So not a whole mansion, just a mini mansion.
You out here being loving hip hop out here. Man.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
nigga, they ain't got no money. But I'm saying, like, if I had real money, you know, if I'm about 10, 12 liquid in the bank, You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have my regular ass house at my 4,000-5,000 square feet. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna have that shit in the burbs. I'm gonna have my shit where I have my Rari. You know what I'm saying? My regular shit. Then I'm gonna have my little just modest ass apartment or maybe a condo. You know what I'm saying? In downtown, and a Tahoe or my regular ass car. You know what I mean? And so like I'm gonna take my date. You know what I'm saying? My girl that I'm dating, I take her to the apartment. You know what I'm saying?
You doing too much.
Right. I'm gonna take her, hey, I'm gonna take the people that I date to the apartment, bro. So that way you don't know about the other stuff. And then once you show yourself to be a real person, you know what I'm saying? So you like me for who I am, then cool. I can take you to the burbs. I'll pull up in the Ferrari next time.
So I guess this is my thing. I think that given the situation, we're talking about prenups. What are some tools that we could give people or tell people like that can kind of shoot them through that process? In other words, like we're talking about like number one, try to live as modest as you can.
Right.
This is my concern. It's not so much about the prenup to me as it is about making sure you're making the right person in the person that you choose.
Yeah, you got to see the red flags.
You know what I'm saying? So like if you can't filter the bullshit, like what is it that you're really doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't even know, honestly, if we're qualified enough to even talk about, like, what you should do of a prenup. Because
man, fuck you, Corbin. I'm qualified for everything, okay?
Bro, you ain't got no fucking money. I mean, because if you did, like, let's be honest, if I had that type of money, y'all niggas wouldn't be my friends.
Bro, that's fucked up.
I know, hey, I'd invite y'all to the box seats every now and then at the Mavericks game.
You know what? You ain't shit, bro. You ain't a motherfucking thing.
Rob and I know when we get this money, how we gonna treat your ass.
You know what? Fuck you, Corbin, a long way. You ain't shit.
I just said I wasn't gonna forget the little people.
You know what? Nah, motherfucker. You said that I probably wouldn't be friends with y'all, and that's cool. We ain't finna be friends with your ass anyway.
You come to the box, bro.
Man, that's crazy.
When I have dinner parties, I'll let y'all be the valets.
Bro, I don't want your pity, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't want your pity.
I'm a tip well, though.
You know what? Fuck it, bro. No new friends. Fuck
Hey,
you, Corbin. You know what I'm saying? You ain't shit.
I'm already a friend now, though. So
But no, I bet people got to do a good job of, dating, before they even get to that point.
You do.
Like a year or two to really like figure out this person to read between the bullshit. Because like you were saying earlier, Rob, you'll eventually get past that representative because certain things will pop out. You know what I mean? A chick is always trying to be high and mighty. Then you go over her house dirty. Or she always wearing these 747 eyelashes on.
Bro, what's nigga said
740? Hey, she got them eyelashes. She ain't got no bed frame and her TV sitting on the floor.
Right.
Wait. Have you seen that though? I ain't never seen the TV on the floor. I have seen like just the.
Bro,
I've seen no headboard and shit, but I can't judge that.
I see some on Instagram.
Hold on. Bro, you say that?
The fucked up part about it, I don't
take pictures like that shit.
I don't seen some shit in real life, bro, but I guarantee you they maybe listen to this motherfucking podcast. All I'm gonna say is this. It is some chicks out here, bro, on some straight bullshit, priorities fucked up, and I ain't trying to woman bash. Because it's a lot of niggas out here doing the same shit.
Right.
But my thing is like you can't expect for a dude to come through and be the knight in shining armor if you are financially capable and you do not make that a priority in your own shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What if you're not financially capable? Like you said, like you look at Instagram, you look at a lot of these places, like, and I hate to use places like Instagram and stuff like this as an example because I don't believe social media is what really drives our world, but a lot of people like to throw that out there.
Fuck social media.
Fuck social media, right? But let's talk about it. Like, you'll see a lot of chicks on here, they be posing and shit, being they little mirrors and stuff. But the back, they fucking apartment, you're right, they ain't got no motherfucking bed frame. You know what I'm saying? Hell, sometimes they got an air mattress. Bruh. Or they just got shit everywhere.
Right.
One, I don't want to fuck with you, because, like, you dirty as fuck. Right? And even if you are dirty.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
Yeah. But why would you, like, okay, let's say you are dirty, right? You don't even have the wherewithal to just move the shit out the way. Just move the shit out the camera angle.
Bro,
push that shit to the side, bro.
That could have taken 2 minutes for you to you know what I'm saying?
That says a lot about that person.
But you got to prenup them motherfuckers. That's a prenup motherfucker right there.
That is a no choose motherfucker. Like you sliding her to the side.
But what if that pussy good?
Man, hey,
you know what, Corey?
We
not wifing chicks in 2020 just because the pussy good.
We not?
No, fuck that hot girl summer shit.
Wait. First of all, we got to redo 2020 anyway because we got a lot of shit that's a fucked up 2020.
You know what? We gonna hit the reset button come summer. You know what I'm saying? We gonna live our best life in 6 months of 2020. From July to December, nigga, it's gonna be all of 2020.
I'm hoping Corona is gone by then. Because look, I got a birthday to celebrate this summer. Shit.
Hey, my nigga,
Yeah,
me too. Hey, shit.
Yeah, man.
And I'm trying to do some crazy shit.
I ain't doing all that, but I'm trying to take my shirt off, man. Show these abs, man.
You know what? I can't stand light nigga shit, bro.
I ain't got no
You know
abs
what I'm
now,
saying?
though, but I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I got a 12 pack right now.
Bro, we're gonna all have abs by the end of this Corona shit. Nigga, I've been look. I'm in the apartment today. I'm like, shit, is this what motherfuckers in jail feel like? I'm like, all I can do is fucking work out.
Come out swole in the mud.
Bro,
I'm like, let me go hit some push-ups. I got shit else to do right now.
I'm just saying. I think that number one, if you even got to consider a prenup, I think you should put more time in your choosing than you should anything else.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I don't know, man. You just,
sanitizer?
Let me get some of that weak ass homemade sanitizer, bro.
Don't take about my shit, man.
I mean, you never know, man. I mean,
Hey y'all, if I die sometime next week, bro, I'm sure it's because of this weak ass.
You take proper precautions with the corona, nigga.
You know what I'm saying? It's because of this weak ass shit, bro.
Bro, if you die, we still gonna keep your name on the intro, though.
You know what? I appreciate that, bro. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Do it for the memory.
Bro, for
and
the
if it's
memory.
any proceeds, give it to my baby girl. You know what I'm saying? She the one that needs it.
Oh, wait a minute. She ain't do no work, though. Like, we can keep your name on here just for recognition purposes.
That's fucked up. You ain't gonna look out for more. You know what? You a whole ass friend, bro.
I already told you my whole ass friend.
so if you ever have a prenup, do you think you can cancel the prenup?
You can't cancel the prenup unless both people agree to it. It's a
yes.
contract.
That's what I'm saying. Can you do that? I mean,
I'm gonna say this, bro. I would say, and I don't believe in prenups. However, if you could get to a place that you want to cancel the prenup, I probably just wouldn't say anything.
What you mean?
Like, I wouldn't cancel it. At the end of the day, if y'all end up divorcing or whatever the case may be, just give it to her. You know what I'm saying?
You still don't. So it's still gonna be in effect. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
So you're not really canceling it, though.
No. What I'm saying is don't verbally or go through whatever court system to cancel it. I would just say make sure whenever y'all get done or the situation resolved, if that is the case, that she's taken care of. Like, give her equal due, her equal 50%.
But everybody don't think like that. You know what?
No, you right.
And this is the crazy.
I'm a
thing.
whole
It's
new
like,
nigga out here. Hey, y'all
You
holler
right.
at me at Bula Deuce on
This,
Instagram.
so this is the thing though. Like, this is the crazy thing, and I had this conversation with. It might have been with you. This was a couple weeks ago when we were talking about women do different shit than dudes in divorces. And I was talking to my homegirl she's a divorce attorney. She's a family attorney.
Nigga, bro, you about to hit a sore subject, bro.
I'm about to hit it, bro.
I may be in the corner crying after you get done with
You're not.
this shit.
see, you
But
should
the
have had that
thing is,
prenup. See,
outside of the prenup, men do stupid shit when we get divorced. Like, we'll do this shit where we'll be like, you know what, fuck it, I'll give her everything, right? But women would never do the same shit for us. Like, women are more bitter.
First off, they don't have to because the court system is rooted to make sure they're taken care of. But
that's
all.
not
We're not
necessarily-
bitter. That's just the truth.
But you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. That's not necessarily true. One, this is not really on topic, but it's like I feel so conflicted about it right now.
oh, it's like you speaking, you saying them from your chest.
Yeah, I know.
Whew.
Men don't do enough outside of y'all niggas. Like, y'all two good dads, right?
Yeah.
Niggas ain't out here fighting for their kids and fighting for their rights. So we can't talk about the court system when niggas are like, oh, well, I don't want to deal with her. I just rather pay her, or I'm not. Nah, man, you got to fight for your shit.
I think it's like an education
Don't complain.
too,
Yeah, don't complain unless you've been up against the system and you've lost. And then you need to fucking come back. Like, your kid is more important than the system.
I totally agree with that. I also feel that number one is like
You got a shit attorney.
no. I also feel like just off the rip, I don't feel like it should automatically be kids need to go with their mom.
I agree.
And I feel like that's what a court system is. Like,
That's
off the
not-
rip.
But that's not true, though. Like, one, it depends on where you are, right? But Texas generally has a pretty progressive family system
I disagree with that.
when it comes to that. But a lot of that depends on, one, it depends on who you are as a person, as a litigant. Two, it also depends highly on your attorney. You know what I'm saying? So if you as a man getting divorced or you're in a custody issue and you ain't out here fighting for the shit that you want, if you're not willing to put the money up or to do the shit that you need to do to combat what we naturally feel is like women are fucking nurturers, then that's the shit that's gonna happen. Especially when you have a lot of family court systems that are dominated by women judges, right?
Bruh.
So, and
especially Dallas County.
yeah, I'm glad that hopefully we have an international audience, but in Dallas we have a lot of black judges. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's a whole nother systemic issue because we have mostly black women voters, right? So if you're not trying to change the system, you can't really complain about it, right?
True.
If
true,
we ain't got
true.
a bunch of niggas out here that's complaining about not getting rights and shit, if they ain't going to the polls and voting for some men to get in the office,
Right.
and you get a equal share at the bench, then don't complain.
And let me say this: I don't think it's necessarily about a equal men versus women thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to paint the idea that like we chauvinists, because that's not the case.
Of course not.
But I think that what you're trying to say is like, just as men, we should step up to have a voice to make sure that we're putting the right people in these seats,
Right.
whether they be male or female.
We do.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna be honest, like I'm fortunate enough to where I know a lot of the judges that I don't really practice family law, but I know a lot of them, right? And I've been before a lot of them, and a lot of people are just looking for a reason to give men the custody, right? But a lot of guys, we bow out, man. Like we, especially black guys, what we do is we like, I don't want to deal with her shit. The same reason, and a lot of women gonna hate me for what I'm about to say is the same reason why black dudes date white women is the same reason why niggas give up on fighting for their kids.
I agree with that.
They be like, I don't want to deal with her shit. Like, you know, she gonna make this hard for me. So they just give in.
Yeah.
Like, no, fuck that. If you know that you're a better parent, you need to fight for that shit. That is what it is.
So in the prenup, can you include like, you know, if you ain't had kids but you think about having kids one day, can you include that in the prenup?
Such as what? You can
Like custody.
You can contract for anything. But
Can you include that in the prenup?
in theory you could, but the general thing about kids is kids are on a different it's a different standard than what it is for regular people. Like, so if we're just getting divorced, then it's going to be basically whatever we can prove. But if we throw kids in there, the standard is best interest of the child.
Yeah,
So
like
whatever is better
welfare
for the
of the
kid.
child.
Yeah, so you can throw all that contractual shit out. So if you're a fucking drug addict and you out here abusing your wife and shit like that.
What if you a
with your
rapper
kid,
out here spitting hot fire and you making a shitload of money?
Then
You know
say,
what I'm saying?
if you're the better parent, you need to go for that shit.
Word
But
up.
if you're gonna be on tour all damn time,
Because
you're
I've
not
been
gonna ever see
aspiring to spit hot fire for a long time.
You
my
too
nigga.
old for that shit.
I got
2
bars.
chains. 2 chains.
I got bars.
2 chains. 2 chains.
You gonna be 35 Savage out here?
Bro, nah, fuck
boy
that. I'm gonna
got-
be,
this
bro.
boy
I'm gonna
got
be
bars.
37 Savage, nigga. I got bars out here, nigga.
Hey,
Here your bars right here, nigga.
Hey, let me get one, bro.
Hey, you
Fuck
be
what
out
y'all
here,
talking about.
52 Savage. He from South Dallas. He out here spitting that high five.
You know what I'm saying?
With no
Shit.
teeth. Oh, you know what? He just got his teeth fixed.
You know what I'm saying? Out here spitting hot fire.
But no, the serious thing is like
Top
prenups.
5 rappers of all time.
I think prenups are important. They play a place. They play an important role in certain type of instances, right? But generally speaking, I'm of the opinion that, like, you know, if I love you, we doing what we're supposed to do. Like Waka said, like, you know, I'm like, love it's about something different. Money is different. Like, I'm okay. I'm at the point of where I feel like, even in my last divorce, like I was like, fuck it, keep everything, right? And I had a different. When I first was getting divorced, I had a different feeling about it. I was like, you know, fuck it, I put in on this. Let me get my shit right.
Yeah, we talking
Then-
about that too.
Yeah, but then I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? Fuck that shit. I can do this shit. Like, I'm gonna make money. Money ain't shit. I'm always make money, right? So
But we broke though.
yeah, but I'm not broke, but I'm broke. Like,
Yeah.
right. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's different, right? I think if
gotta do it, like-
if you get a divorce and y'all have kids, right? I think if y'all had a house, leave the house to your wife so you know she can stay in it and the kids, because the kids have memories and everything. But if I'm married to somebody and we don't have any kids or anything like that, hey, we splitting everything 50.
But see, I'm gonna be real with you. Fuck that. What you talking about? That same. I'm be like the same.
So
shit that
now
just
you
said.
pro prenup?
No. But I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is like the same shit that he just said is the same reason why we lose in court. Because what he did was just like you have this idea about giving shit to women that they don't deserve. Like, don't be like, well, my kids grew up in this house. Why the fuck can't you keep the house and keep the kids and she get out?
Well, I mean, it depends on how I feel. It depends. It depends, right? On our relationship, or
Damn, bro,
See
we
what I'm
getting
saying?
deep.
Oh, I
Listen,
this is
man,
my
yeah,
point.
yeah.
And this is the same shit I went
Yeah.
through. I was like, but I was on some shit like my wife at the time would never appreciate the fact that I gave up everything for her and said, fuck it. Right? And it wasn't about me saying I can start over or anything like that. It was like, I cared enough about you at that moment to be like, you know what? Cool, you be secure, you take this shit. Even though I feel like I put in this shit, cool, you do that.
But this is my thing.
But like all I gotta say on that, so like I'm speaking from, I've never been divorced. Like first time being married, but I've been in a long-term relationship, you know, with my oldest daughter's mom for like 5 years, and I have been like having my daughter full time since she was 4 years old.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? So I can speak on like, hey, if I was married to her and we divided, like I know that I'm the better parent, then I might fight to keep the house. I think all I'm saying is case by case. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's all I'm saying.
I think that number one, like, and this is the fucked up part about it. I don't think when two people get to that situation of deciding for divorce, like they will allow for ego to really be like, you know what? Thinking about it, you're gonna be the better parent. You're better situated for what we got going on right now. You should take the house. You should do XYZ. It's like as soon as you say the D word, it goes from like relationship to straight war.
Right. It's business, right?
It is. It's straight business, and I think that number one, if two people can come like on the same playing field and just be like, look, like I think you're better suited for this scenario at the moment. You just do what you do. You take the house. You do whatever.
But I think that's where, and that's the one instance where I say prenups are good because they set shit out, right? The problem is, like what you said, is it's a contingency. It's like, it's kind of basically saying if this shit don't work out, and if you can conceptualize the fact that it might not work out, then you're leaving yourself an out. But the flip side of it is, we as men, we give up too easily. We don't fight for our rights when it comes to this shit, this type of shit.
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, fuck it.
Yeah, I
Just
think
like,
I think
you did
the
same
system
shit,
has kind of like
you know?
misguided us to think that way.
Well,
But we shouldn't think that way.
I will say this. Yeah. So in my particular scenario, what was most important to me was that I had equal time with my daughters. And I essentially gave up the house, the 401k, like any and everything. Don't look at me like that.
Or you gave up your own 401k?
No, not my own.
Oh, hers.
Yeah.
I gave
But my thing is like all the financial shit, because this is my thing. I was more so concerned about the well-being of the girls than I was anything else. And I was like, okay, I can make this money over again. I can buy another house.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I felt like by me giving up XYZ, like it would show, hey, look, all I want is time with my daughters. Yeah. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I gave up everything. Some may feel different about that, but hey, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it worked out for me.
Right.
You know
I think it's always a case by case situation. I mean, I think like in my particular situation with me, my wife, I think we have great potential, like to do a lot of great things and accumulate a lot of wealth. But you know, if we decide to get divorced, you know what I mean, I know because we built this together that I'm gonna do right to split it up how it needs to be split up. But on the other side, if I came in with like tens of millions of dollars,
you're not giving her shit.
No, it's not like I'm not. I just think that she's gonna have to kind of earn it, right, over a period of time because I have to protect that because like that's something that I worked hard on to accumulate.
Well, here's a good thing about that though. It's like when we live in Texas, so I mean, there's a couple other states that are like this, but we're a community property state, which basically means that she's not entitled to the shit that you have in the bank anyway. You're only entitled to the shit that you've helped me accumulate. Well, even if you didn't help me accumulate it, but you know, if we get married tomorrow, all the shit that I'm making the next year and we get divorced, all right, cool. You got some say-so to that shit. But all the other shit I had before that, that's still mine.
So I know most brothers like, can you trust the system to to work that way?
Well, that's not the system. That's the law. So there's no way you can really go against that shit. But again, even if we talk about that, but as guys, we don't fucking fight for our rights. And it's not necessarily talking about just family shit. Talk about criminal shit. We just don't. We'll give in to women because women go hard. Women go hard. Like
women are very strategic. You know what I mean?
But hold on, let's back away from that a little bit. And I ain't trying to talk shit, but do they really have to work that hard the way the system's set up?
No, this is the thing. I don't think they have to work that hard because we don't work hard. We don't combat shit.
I think men are kind of ignorant when it comes to the law.
We're not. We just don't work. We're not ignorant,
you
bro.
think so?
No, some people are ignorant to it. I mean, let me stop.
Because they hear a homie's outcome and assuming think that it's going to happen to them. Where that might not be the case because you might have everything in line to work in your favor.
Most dudes here. I've been a lawyer for almost 10 years, and the unremarkably what I've seen is that a lot of dudes give in, whether it's on some criminal shit, whether it's on some civil shit, whether it's on some family shit. For some reason, we just don't have it in us to fight when it comes to legal shit. Yeah. No matter if we know what, I mean, I get it. Like, if you're not a part of the system, it can be a daunting thing. But women are resilient. Like, women, generally speaking, are resilient people, right?
I had a rare case then, bro.
What do you mean?
What I'm saying is when I went to court on my divorce, she didn't have to fight for anything. Mm-hmm. Like, as soon as I got in court, the judge was just like, nah, she deserved this, she deserved this, she deserved this, and I was the one that filed. And not on some, like, it wasn't a cheating situation. It was literally like, I filed because I felt like this was just something that we needed to do. And I'm not trying to paint the situation like dudes got it fucked up in court, because I don't feel like that's the case overall. Yeah. I just felt like I had a fucked up situation. Yeah. Ultimately, what happened was I got what I wanted, which was equal time with the kids. But I felt like in that situation, bruh, like, it was skewed all the way to her side. She didn't have to speak up. She didn't have to say shit.
Then if one of your homies hear that situation and that outcome, they're gonna be jaded.
That
is
gonna
automatically assume.
And I will be honest, like, I came into court, and I'm glad that I decided to. But, like, I'm one of those people that I'm not just finna lay down. You're gonna have to make me get down on some other shit. But like, I fought for what I felt like was very important to me. Even though I had an outcome that really wasn't what I expected it, I still fought for mine. And I got what I wanted out of it. And I do feel like Corbin has a point. I think that just men all together, if this is what we want, we got to fight for it. It don't matter what you face in court. You have to be willing, number one, to put, like, what you believe in. You got to be willing to put towards that. But only that, you got to bring your wallet too. And unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to get a really good attorney and do what you got to do. But when you think about the big scheme of things, like,
what's important?
Yeah. Like, if equal time, or, like, if you feel like you're the better parent, if that's what it is, bruh, do what you got to do.
So this is the thing, like, and when we talk about prenups, I guess it's a legal topic.
Yeah.
Right? But when we really talk about it, when as black people, we don't share the system equally, even when we have black judges and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But even then, so when we're already down, right? But then when you put in the fact that we're black males and you're in a system that's dominated by women, or at least what we as society come to think about as women are the more nurturing and they automatically deserve kids, or that men are the more powerful, so women need to get this some sort of handout, or they deserve more than we do. We got to work, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, like, we just not doing that, and a lot of times money is an issue.
Yeah.
But even when we talk about that, like, black people are, as a whole, like, we talk about women being resilient, but black people are resilient people.
Yeah.
And I've never once seen a black person that's trying to do something fail at it. And when I say that, I mean, like,
put forth real effort.
Yeah. When you want some shit, you get that shit. Like, it don't matter how poor you are. It don't matter if you got food stamps or anything. If you want them $300 Jordans, you sit your ass in that line and you get them, right? So it's about choices. And if we're being really honest and being completely honest with each other, a lot of times black people don't prioritize the shit we're supposed to prioritize. And that goes for black males. And so if you want your kids, you fucking prioritize that shit. If you want a certain type of outcome, you prioritize that. But what we do is we give in. We decide to prioritize something else. And say, for instance, if you lose, fuck, if that's what you need to do, you appeal that shit.
You come back.
You do. And I've seen people do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it happen time and time again, but that's a rare case. That's not everybody.
So I want to bring up something real quick, and I kind of want to fight for the other side, because it seems like a lot of this is like men fighting for certain things, dealing with prenups. I think there is a case, if you flip this topic on its head, it's a lot of successful black women out there that have finances to consider when they're getting married. And I think this applies to them just as much.
Absolutely.
Overall, I think that, number one, I think we all kind of feel differently, kind of like about like how we should approach a prenup, whether you should or you shouldn't. Personally, I feel like we shouldn't. I feel like we should just make better choices in the partners that we choose. Sure. But I think that a prenup does not apply to a black man versus like to one or the other. Yeah. Like, I think that if you're a black woman who's successful in doing your thing, and you feel like a prenup is necessary, that's something that should definitely be considered.
I agree.
In the same way we go into a situation feeling, should I be protected? Should I not be protected? I think that black women should think exactly the same.
I agree with that 1,000%. And I know we're talking about from a male perspective, but at the same time, I'm like, I think it's the same thing. I don't care if you're a black woman, a white woman, whatever. Like, if you're a person that has a certain amount of financial interest or a certain amount of money accumulated or property or assets or anything like that, you have to think about that when you get into a relationship. And, if that's important to you, then, prenup might be, a situation you want to consider. Me, if I truly love a person, I know you got money, I'd probably sign a prenup. it would probably hurt me a little bit that you would ask me that.
I ain't signing no prenup.
I would sign a prenup.
I'd sign it, but you know what I'm saying. But I would still have a conversation. I'm like, yo, this kind of hurt that you're basically saying that, yo, one, you think that we might get divorced. Two, you think I might try to take some shit from you.
Yeah.
But I'm also the type of person, I don't give a fuck what you got. You know what I'm saying?
And that's me too.
I
Don't get me wrong. I kind of feel like I would never take anything from someone who I feel like is just undeserved. Like if I ain't help you to get there, I'm not finna take shit out of your pocket. And even if I did help you to get there, 9 times out of 10, I don't want to take the shit from you.
But again, though, like
technically yours.
I feel that way. Yeah.
From our perspective, though, like we're 3 good, hardworking, like really diligent brothers. But sometimes, you'll get in a situation where you got a wolf. You got a wolf in sheep's clothing, and sometimes you gotta protect yourself. You know. What I mean?
But that's the thing, though. That goes back to making good choices, like
choosing better.
But then again, you're
right.
But
people change. But people change too. So everything can come out to be all lovey-dovey and great, and you got the white doves flying in the sky and everything.
But you know what though?
Then 5 years later, it's like, what the hell just happened?
But that's the chance you take when you love someone. Love is a risk. It's a risk word, yeah.
But love doesn't conquer all. You got to have some money in there too.
You know what?
hey, what if you? I mean, because I agree with you, but I disagree with you. Because at the same time, like, I don't want to be with no broke person. I don't think anybody want to be with no broke.
You know what I'm saying? Your date gonna be hot spam sandwiches. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying that Job lost everything. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't cursed God. You know what I'm saying? So.
But Job ain't talking about no hoes in the Bible, though.
You can't use hoes in the Bible in the same sentence.
Women. I mean, I'm joking, right? I'm joking.
But look, I'm going to say this. I feel like true love does conquer all.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, true love, it ain't judging.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not calculating. It's not manipulating.
Okay, Corinthians.
It is just what it is.
It's not jealous. It does not boast.
It is full love.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, y'all got any other thoughts on that, fellas?
Hey, man.
Don't do it, bro. That's all I'm saying. Just don't. No, fucking. You might do it sometimes, but for the most part, don't do it. Don't
you know what? None of us agree on this prenup thing. At the end of the day, do what you feel like your relationship can handle.
But I think what we do need, we need y'all to comment. Like, this is what we really need. Like, we're being a lot of people listening, and we need some comments. Like, we want to know what y'all think about this.
Highlight us on our Facebook page.
Thou shalt prenup or not.
SC Davis Law. Slide on my DMs.
Bro, you know what? We're not even going to do this right now.
We're not going to do that?
Holla at us.
On Instagram. MAS Podcast. And also on Facebook. We want to hear your views and your intakes, people.
Bro, you're wrong. It's Men Ain't Podcast now. Apparently we changed the name.
We just changed the name.
Apple Podcast wouldn't let us in with that Men Ain't shit. So we have to change it up
Men Ain't Podcast on Facebook and IG. Holla at us. Look for us.
We still ain't shit, though.
Hey, until next time. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Men Ain't This podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.